Peter Black. I play guitar in Nunchukka 95.
I'm James McCann, and I sing in Nunchukka 95.
Beautiful, gentlemen. Thanks for joining us this afternoon.
You're welcome.
Pleasure.
So,
My pleasure.
so Nunchukka Superfly finally released your debut and only album, Nunchukka Superfly 95, back on April 26th this year, guys. Like, must have been a strange feeling for you actually having it released after so long.
I guess you could call it strange, but I mean, at the same time, it felt really good. And I think we can thank James for that, because I didn't even have a copy of the recording. So I forgot what it was like even. But James got in touch maybe about a year and a half ago and said, man, have you heard that fucking thing we did all those many moons ago? It's really ferocious. We should release it. And I remember just thinking, yeah, maybe one day. And then he goes, no, I'm serious. And then he sent me a copy, and I was like, holy fuck, he's right. This is fucking mad. So, yeah, you can thank James for that.
I had it. You can hear me all right, yeah?
Yep.
I had it on cassette for years, and I think we all had cassette copy initially. Then I kind of wore that out eventually. But in Sydney, Jason Blackwell, who recorded it, was working across the road from where I lived at the Hopeton Hotel on the weekends. And I'd pop in on the weekends to watch bands. And he went, oh, I have that DAT tape of that Nunchukka Superfly recording. Do you want a copy? And I said, yeah, give me a copy. You know, the little tapes, the little DAT tapes. And so I got a copy of that. And I sat on that for years as well, because I didn't have a DAT player or anything. Then I had access to this old 90s DAT player about 10 years ago, maybe not even that, at a friend's studio. And so we put it in, plugged in the old player in the studio and put the cassette in, and bam, and there it was, loud and clear. And somehow, I'd stored it away well enough and obviously hadn't lost it. So that was the start. Then I got it digitized and sent it to Blackie and Ray, I think, can't remember, or just Blackie, to pass it on. And that was 2019, and then pandemic, so it slowed everything down. That's how it happened.
Yeah. So in a nutshell.
In a nutshell. So is it released now how it was originally recorded, or did you just touch it up a little bit?
Actually, the way it was, we got it mastered.
Yeah.
Which you got to do anyway after a recording. But no, it's exactly how it is. No touching up, no fake moustaches drawn on it, no nothing.
That's got to be the easiest album release in history then. You just didn't have to play on it, didn't have to do fuck all. You just sent it ready to get mastered and put it out. That's awesome.
Yeah,
no, we still had to record it initially.
Yeah, like 25 years ago.
Yeah. 28. Who's counting?
I can't count that high. I run out of toes by then. So how was the reception for it once it got out, guys? Like, did people still remember who you were and they rush out to buy it, or was it sort of a bit slow?
I don't know. I mean, it's not like I ring up the record company every day. Hey, how's my record going?
Why not?
I got better things to do.
Well, on social media, there was a reaction to it from people who remembered seeing us play back then. There was a lot of people going, finally,
obviously lived here back then. Well, fucking hell, I had no idea. I used to see you guys all the time when you first started. This is so cool that this has happened. So, yeah.
And it'd be a pretty proud.
Response was pretty good.
Yeah, it'd be a pretty proud feeling, wouldn't it? Like actually coming across something that you recorded that long ago that people still get into today.
Oh, not just that. Like, even like I know we spoke amongst ourselves, before releasing it, because, you don't just release shit willy-nilly, or, I wouldn't anyway. All of us sort of listened to it and went, holy fuck, I forgot how ferocious we were. This definitely deserves to be put out there. So, I'm, I'm really grateful.
And it's aged well as well. I think there's not a real cringe factor when you listen to it.
Yeah.
I think Yeah.
There's a little bit of, I mean, there always is, you know, if you're a continuing artist, you always listen back to something you did years ago and like, I like it, but I would have done this. I like it, but I might have done that. But yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
As James says, yeah, you know, I listened to it and fuck, I'm stoked with this. This holds up.
That's great. And I read that the whole album was actually recorded in just one day originally. Is that true?
Yep.
Fucking get back to the old days when everything was like old and cumbersome and you still did it in one day. That's awesome.
Yeah, and probably without even a dinner break or a lunch break, probably had a bag of nuts and some dates.
Yum.
Yeah.
I had that for breakfast.
Yeah.
So for those unfamiliar with the Nunchukka Superfly story, mate, like the band was formed in 1993 by Ray and Blackie from the Hard-Ons after the band initially split that year. So fill us in from there. Like, was it supposed to be a proper band? Was it a fill-in band? Was it a bit of fun?
No, it was definitely a proper band, but it was actually Pete and Ray got together first and had a jam. And then I think they were jamming with, I can't remember who, might have been Troy, and he was busy. And Ray goes, "You want to join us?" And I go, "Yeah, I'll have a bash." And, you know, really enjoyed it. And then, yeah, we played for a while and we're like, man, you know what we need? We need a fucking ferocious singer. And then we went through what we called the gong show, looking for a singer. And then James walked in, and from the first moment he opened his mouth was like, "We found our vocalist." Ferocious.
So it's funny because I was the 23rd person apparently to have tried out. That's what I was told at the time, and 23 was my lucky number. So.
That's a good enough story. I like it.
Oh, dude! And how'd the process work? Like, were you timing the gongs, or was whoever lasted the longest without the gong got the gong, or?
You know, I think I think it works, because James is a musician first. So, you know, when you try out vocalists, I guess you do get a lot of people like Bennick, and we had a lot of people who walked in with hands in pockets going, it's like, oh, okay, so you can sing, and it's like, oh, I sang at a party once, my mates reckon I was pretty good. And it's kind of like, it's not going to be fun. So yeah.
Now I hope I've got my facts right here, but you guys broke up. Like the last show you played as a band was a Big Day Out in 1996. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yeah. So what are your memories from that show?
How good it was. It was nerve-wracking because we were, all four of us were very volatile personalities, and by then we sort of I guess the band was so freaking intense in every aspect that by the end of it we kind of needed a break from each other. But we all agreed to do the Big Day Out, but we haven't even spoken or rehearsed or anything for about, is it 2 months or so?
Something almost, yeah.
Yes, I didn't even know if it was going to happen. And then on a day, like literally 10 minutes before we had to get on stage, all four of us rocked up on the stairs leading to the stage and nodded to each other. And then all I can remember was 40 minutes of one of the best gigs I've ever fucking played in my life. Like, it's one of those gigs I'll take to the grave with me.
Wow, that's awesome.
It was next level. There was something else, something in the air, that kind of feeling.
Yeah.
And the energy was just sort of beyond, with that kind of like getting ready to levitate,
Definitely. You know, Johnny Rotten I used to love saying this. Johnny Rotten used to always say, "We hate each other," but for that gig we kind of did. But we didn't. But we did, but we didn't. We did, but we didn't,
I had a quick look at that lineup for 1996, the Big Day Out, and the Aussie bands on it. And out of it, there's still Nick Cave, Tumbleweed, She Had, Regurgitator, Spiderbait, Magic Dirt, the Superjesus, and a few others that are still going. And that's 28 years ago. Like, it shows that the longevity of Australian music. It's awesome.
Yeah, totally.
The original lineup of you guys is setting off on a 3-date run of shows starting in Marrickville on July the 19th, then you hit Brisbane on July the 27th, and Melbourne on August the 2nd. So what can fans expect from that show?
Well, you know, before we even talked about playing, we all just wanted to have a jam first to see what it would feel like. And fair income, it almost felt like that fucking gig at Big Day Out. It was incredible.
Yeah. It sounded to me the same and felt the same. Blackie uses the same guitar. Pete had the same. He's got the same drum kit. So the sound is the same. I feel like maybe I was sort of holding it back to try not to scream as much and lose my voice like I did back then. But yeah, it sounded amazing.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, when you say about Pete, I remember Pete was like, "Oh man, I'm keen to give it a go, but I haven't drummed in ages." But
yeah,
you couldn't tell.
Yeah.
What a freak. Like he has a very unique and insanely propulsive way of drumming, and it really felt good. Man, he felt good being in that room, I can tell you.
Yeah. And how'd you go, like, on the first jam back for these shows? Like, how did you go relearning all those old songs? Like, did you connect with them still 28 years later, or were some of them like,
yeah, totally. I don't know which one said it first, but it was like, fucking hell, it felt like we just jammed last week.
For real?
Yeah, I think because I'd worn out my cassette, and then when I got it digitized, you know, I listened to that 1,000 times just for fun at night. I kind of knew it all in my head anyway when I walked in there, and you know, I had to read the lyrics, of course, because there's so many lyrics, and you know, some of the lyrics are a bit different, but I could still kind of hear it all in my head because I'd listened to it so much leading up to it over the years, I guess.
Yeah, I think we definitely had a really great chemistry, and the chemistry connected quite easily between four of us. So it really, yeah, like, trust me, I personally wouldn't go out unless I thought this was, you know, shit hot and worth doing. Because, you know, there are sometimes, you know, bands that reform or, you know, blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that, you know, do some sort of reunion tour, and it's, you know, not never, but, you know, a lot of the times, you know, more than 80% of the times, it's a little bit of going through the motions. And, you know, I don't think any of us would have, you know, been happy if it was like that. And it definitely wasn't. So, you know, and I mean, I know Pete says he hasn't played in ages, but, you know, me and Rabe never stopped. James has never stopped. So, you know, there's, you know, we're still working musicians, you know, we still play, we still write, we still create. So, you know, it just felt good, just a different configuration, and, you know, one that had something before and obviously still does.
And what are your plans for after those 3 shows are over, guys? Are you going to go back to your respective other projects and shelve Nunchukka Superfly again, or is this sort of giving you a bit of a spark to maybe put another album out in 28 years?
It's 4 shows.
4?
4 shows, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 4 shows too.
Oh, but I've only got 3 on my list, so
you probably haven't got Castlemaine. Maybe they didn't write down Castlemaine.
All right, what date's Castlemaine?
That's the next night after the Tote Hotel, so that'd be the 3rd of August.
Yeah, no, they didn't send me that one.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh no! Well, what are you doing after your 4 shows are up then?
I don't know, to be honest. I mean, this feels good, feels fun. You know, we all live in different states now, but I don't know. Let's just see what happens.
Yeah, see how it goes. If it's good fun and we want to do it again and there's some gigs on the offer, then who knows? It'd be fun.
Yeah. I'm definitely not shutting the door, because you know, in a way, I guess because we were all young and immature, especially myself back then, you know, the lineup didn't last as long as it should have. And, you know, now you know, that we've reconnected and it feels so freaking good. Maybe something else can come out of it. I'm definitely leaving the door open for whatever happens.
Oh, how about for now we tell people that you haven't got anything else planned, so they get their asses along to this show in case they never get another chance.
Yeah,
Good
that's yeah.
Yeah.
And to buy the LP as well.
Where can they get a copy of it, or where can they get hold of it?
Any good record shop.
Yeah, through
And, you know, their distros.
and order it online.
Very good, boys.
Big record shop and say, I heard about this record and I want to buy it. No, I'll get it for you.
No worries. Well, thanks for your time, guys. It's been a pleasure chatting with you and getting to know more about the band. The album Nunchukka Superfly 95 is out now. The shows kick off on July the 19th. So get amongst it and get fucking nunchucked.
Fantastic.
Thanks, Kris.
No worries,
Thanks for your time, man. Very appreciated.